Alrighty, hello everybody, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I am NitePHX. We are going to do a bush trip. So we have these bush trips. We've already done one, but we didn't record it. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to restart from number one. See what happens here. So the idea is we have this trip. You can see the whole blue outline here. This is broken into 25 segments. And you have to complete each segment to complete the entire course. Okay, so I think I have to hit ready to fly first. So the average cruise speed for this Cub, I think it's like a Savage Cub, 91 kilometers. Let's go ahead and just click ready to fly. Why does it look like we're moving? We are, okay. So we have some stuff here. Won't keep these on the screen. A VFR map, which is a visual flight rules. So we have no navigation aids other than a compass, and in this particular instance, the fact that I've flown this mission 3 times already, so now I have a pretty good idea where I'm going. We can zoom out here. We are starting here at 064. We can see that over here in the nav log, 064, and we are going to KIYK. Yeah, I won't even try. So we can zoom out more here. So what we do is, this is our path, the white path. I'm going to go over this lake, come down around here, and we're going to land here. And that will be leg 1. When we land and everything's okay, we should get an acknowledgement that we have completed leg 1. These airplanes showing that there are other people, other players, maybe even live traffic in the area. Unfortunately, in this map, in this game mode, you can't click on these and find out who they are, what they are. So what we have here in the nav log, basically it's a description of what we need to do. So basically we're going to Kern River. Welcome to Bakersfield, California. Your first stop on this tour of the North American High Sierra. From a quaint airstrip, wind your way north along a stretch of road through the agriculture-rich landscape. Eventually your path will intersect with State Route 178 highway, leading you northeast towards the Sierra Nevada mountains and the path of Kern River. Now this is number 1. There's actually 9 instructions here, and this is going to be our final destination for this leg. Again, this is just leg 1. So what we do is to give you some information, we should be heading 12 degrees. See, I've flown this, and you can just see from here. Here's where we're taking off, and this is the way we're going. 12 degrees would be maybe this way. This is much more like 45 degrees. But we should be able to follow the rivers. And again, it's a visual flight plan. So that's what we need to do, is follow rivers and roads, ground features. So let's go ahead. We're just going to collapse that. And we'll bring this up until we get to where we want to be. Most of this is going to be done from external views. For me, it's just easier. And just being a new game with the amount of scenery and everything. So if we're in the cockpit, this is what we see, right? We can look around, but you know, that's it. So hit Control Spacebar and it puts us back into our default. So I don't want to be limited to that view. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to give ourselves a little bit of flaps, and we're going to hit the gas. Try and keep it straight. should take off, lift off pretty easy. And then we're going to start heading right. Okay, so again, there are no waypoints. I'm going to follow this road here, maybe. Let's get rid of the flaps. So, okay, I've flown this several times. First 2 times I failed. Couldn't find the airport that I was supposed to be going to. Get rid of some of that nose trim. And hopefully I haven't already got myself lost. I'm thinking that's the canyon where my tail is. That's where I want to go. I don't really see any other canyons. So from here we're going 16 degrees. Now they do also, come back up here into the nav log. Let's say, so for the first leg we're looking at 4.75 nautical miles, we're looking at 3 minutes 7 seconds. That would obviously be if you're going the about 91 knots, which is about what we're doing. When we first started the game, we saw that the average cruise speed for this was 91 knots. We're doing 93, 92. Oh, so you could actually start a stopwatch. I've tried using it. It's difficult. I mean, you would need to really be going exactly 91 knots for it to work. And if you're close, you know, it's going to get you approximately, especially since you're doing visual. There's a lot of open land here. Most of this at the beginning is just all a little bit more nose trim there. We don't need to be this high yet. So this is going to be the Kern River. So let's just take a quick look where we can. So we've come here. This is going to be Interstate 178 that we're intersecting. So we're going to come down to number 2 now. Fly above the Kern River as it carves through the chasm between the two mountains, forming the mouth of the Kern Canyon. Even as the highway below takes a divergent path, soon enough you'll be reunited with the road when the road bends back into view and a modest bridge carries it across the water. So there is the highway and the river down there. We are obviously in or above the canyon. We're picking up speed a little bit. Why is that? We're still doing positive vertical. Zoom out of here a little bit. Try and keep the mouse pointer off the screen for you. I don't know if that'll go away by itself or not. I don't recall. So we still see the road, we're still over the river. Well, this flight will take about 41, 42 minutes, something like that. So we are recording, obviously, in real time. My plan is to go in and edit the movie file. Whether I'll speed some of this up or not, I don't know. I'm not quite sure how to do that. Well, I know how to do it. It's just that if I've got narration in it, I can't really speed portions up that have narration in it. So we're still kind of trying to watch the ground there, see if we definitely losing altitude there. We're looking for a bridge. At some point we cross over the Kern River. Right now what we're trying to do is keep a vertical speed very minimal. We will have to eventually increase our altitude. Just looking for the bridge. To about just over 4,000 feet, I think. Push that nose back down. Try and make these turns without gaining or losing altitude. Can be tough until you get used to it. Well, I am flying with my controller from my Xbox. I don't have a yoke or a throttle quadrant or anything yet. I would like to. The issues is that nobody has anything in stock. Alright, we've got a little bit of time here. Still looking for... Okay, once we find our first bridge, then we're going to continue tracking the Kern River along all those twists and turns, past rugged trailheads and remote campgrounds, natural hot springs, and a century-old hydroelectric plant. You will find a sharp bend in the river that leads to a second roadway bridge. So I haven't seen the first bridge. The first time I flew this, I missed it. The first bridge anyway. I did find the second one. So you do have to... Now, so you really should use the nav log and read down through the thing to see what you're supposed to be looking for. Each one of these has a heading and a distance and a guesstimate for a duration. Now, if you don't want to keep these collapsed up here, you can close them out. If you need them back up, you just come up here, that'll pop down into VFR map. I think it's just easier. It doesn't take that much room on the screen to have those collapsed up there. So I'll just follow here. I have a feeling I've missed the first bridge, but Maybe you saw it, I did not. I'm getting some little stutters, I'm not sure. Isn't there supposed to be like an old abandoned hydroelectric or something here? I don't recall seeing anything like that. I may just be too high to be able to distinguish. So we're going to be pushing 4,000 feet here. We'll probably have to keep going over that. I don't remember. Because once you get out of the canyon here, get past the lake, then the terrain starts to rise. Alright, there's a bridge right there. That might be the first bridge, I don't know. That highway sure looks like one heck of a roller coaster ride, doesn't it? Again, that's Highway 178. And speed is still right around 90. Looking for a second bridge, whether I'll find it or not. And so that the one we just saw could have very well been the second bridge, and I missed the first one. I don't know. So with these bush strips, it's my understanding, right, this is the first part of the first leg. You take off from an airport, you land at another one. You'll use the same airplane for all 25 trips or segments of that trip, legs of the trip, and then you'll need to refuel at some point. We'll figure out how to do that. Seems to be issues with people trying to refuel. Okay, so let's go in here. A sharp bend in the road that leads to a second bridge. Let's go next. You're nearly out of the Kern Canyon. After a few more twists and turns, the river will lead you past a town born during the California Gold Rush towards the heart of the Kern River Valley, Lake Isabella. Okay. Well, I know where Lake Isabella is. I didn't miss any bridges here. Oh, there's the second bridge. Okay. So that was the first one we saw. Cool. We're getting better at this. Altitude is 4,200 feet. I don't think I need to be any higher than that. Okay, so there's the lake, Lake Isabella in front of us. Well, we got a nice wide open span here. Let's read ahead. Okay, towards Heart Lake Isabella. So then, number 5, river opening. From the shore of the massive man-made reservoir, follow the curves of Lake Isabella to the east. In the distance, you'll find the mouth of another river feeding the lake. This is the South Fork Kern River, and it's waiting to lead you further. Okay. again, from the shore, and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really say, just east. So once you get to the lake, we head east. So this might be a good time to speed up things. I'm going to show you the entire flight, but after it's done and I edit the video, I may put some of this at 2, 3, 4, 5 times speeds just to speed things up. So let's take a look at the map here. You can see we've got to be somewhere right about here. Well, that's just kind of cool to me. I wish there was more detail in these maps. And if you zoom in, you can get more detail on the ground, but then you're zoomed in so far you don't know where you're at. Okay. We're still climbing. We're at 4,600. Let's knock the trim down a couple more notches. Okay, now we're doing 96 knots. So our times would be off. What you would need to do is slow down, or decelerate, I guess, or lower the engine RPM. We've got it maxed out right now. Okay. So, if we take a look at this, we can see there's a little hook here. And we take a look at the lake, there's that little hook. What we're doing is we're heading east to a point where, what did they say? It was Little Kern Creek, South Fork Kern River. And this has got to be the river. This is what's feeding this lake. So while we're moving on to there, let's go ahead and read the next section. The South Fork Kern River flows past several small flatland towns, eventually leading to a riverside community bordered by 2 rocky outcrops, a wide open invitation back into the Sierra Nevada mountain pass. And this is where I got lost the first and the second time I flew this. You know, everything here is a rocky outcrop. A flatland town. Okay, that's pretty much a flatland town over there. You know, and there's rocky outcrops on the left and the right. We're coming up ahead, there's more flatland. It's just the whole thing. You know, so I guess we could have looked at 7.1 miles. So this is probably 7.1 miles once we get to this point. So, thing is, you don't have any way of measuring your miles here. I guess if you had all kinds of timing things, you could say, okay, I'm going 96 knots and over however many minutes, that's how far I've gone. So, we're going to keep in mind that we're looking for a flatland town, eventually leading to a riverside community bordered by 2 rocky outcroppings, a wide open invitation back into the Sierra Nevada pass. Like I said, I've flown this a few times already, so I know where I'm going. I think. Get that out of there. Look around. More communities. This is going to end up being a rather large file. I'm playing at 1440p, 2K to call it, and that's what I'm recording in. I'm recording at 25 megabits per second, which is the maximum that YouTube will allow. So a 40-minute file. This thing's going to be at least 10 gigabytes in size. And I'm also doing separate audio tracks. So the game is on one track. My voice narration is on a separate track. So I should be able to balance the audio levels, the volume, so the game isn't too loud or my voice isn't too loud. I wish I could remember how high I need to be, because we're coming up on the area, relatively soon, where we're going to definitely need to be over, I don't remember, this 4,500 feet, 5,000? I don't think we need to be 5,000. Okay, so here is, as close as we can say, a riverside community. This is the river. Yeah, it's not exactly riverside, but it's close enough. Eventually leading to a riverside community bordered by two rocky outcroppings. So, but that's not what we're looking for. And what we're looking for is right up there. In the center of the screen now. But there's no riverside community up there. Unless they're talking about this is the opening, inviting us back into the Sierra Nevadas. I don't know. So if we look over here to the right, we see that highway is 178 again, but we're still. Let's go ahead and read some more. Okay, let the river lead the way until it begins bending north into the mountain. Okay, this is it. Let the river lead the way until it begins bending north into the mountains. So here we go, it's going north into the mountains. It's there, you'll find State Route 178 again, which we see it down here. Follow the highway as it bends around a long stretch of cliffside and runs off in a southeasterly direction. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow 178, and you can see it coming through here. And this is, it says, a long stretch of cliffside. Well, this is the long stretch of cliffside. 178 is actually going to come around here. So we'll get over there. Okay, losing altitude. And do one notch, one tick of positive vertical speed. So on the controller, I've set the bumpers for my trim. Left bumper points my nose down, right bumper pulls it up. It takes, I don't know, what is it, 10, 12 ticks to get 0.1 degree of trim, because that's what it shows. I can't exactly do it right now. As you can see, we're still following 178. And we certainly could have taken a shortcut across there. But for demonstration purposes, I want you to see how you can read the text of the nav log and try to associate it with what's actually going on the ground. I found it difficult the first couple of times I flew this to understand what they were talking about. So in particular, this riverside community and finding these two rocky outcrops leading me back into the Sierra Nevadas. It's like, I don't know. Everything is a rocky outcrop. Okay, so now you can see we're heading east. This is going to come around and we will be going southeast. So let's take a look at our next. Follow the highway that bends around a long stretch of cliffside and runs off in a southeasterly direction. Now, Freeman Junction. It's a relatively straight shot continuing southeast until Highway 178 meets State Route 14 at the long since dead ghost town of Freeman Junction. I have yet to find this. I don't know where State Route 14 is. I have not found the long since dead ghost town of Freeman Junction. Just keep following 178. We don't want to be going down here. Trim that upwards a little bit. You know, if anybody while I'm flying this sees what they think is Route 14 and Freeman Junction, comment below and give me a timestamp. I would love to be able to see this. So this is where we get in trouble if we don't have the altitude. We're still, our nose is going down. We don't want to be losing altitude here. If anything, we want to be climbing a little bit, just make sure. And we're going to be pushing 5,000 here. At least if you haven't flown this yet yourself, you'll get a good idea of how high you'll need to be to get through this pass here. And of course the mouse has stayed on the screen. Okay, I want to try and maintain like a 5-degree climb right here. We're going to be close, we're not going to be high enough though. So we're still following 178. I have not found any type of junction. Relatively a straight shot continuing southeast until Highway 178 meets State Route 14 at the long since dead ghost town of Freeman Junction. There's something down there. It doesn't look like a ghost town. Something down here looks like a relatively modern building. It's certainly not a ghost town from like the Wild West or anything. I don't see anything over here. The car just went off to the side. Okay, so I may have been wrong. I am at full throttle. It's going to be tight. I think we're good now. If not, we'll just have to land on the highway. Okay, so you need to be 5,600 feet minimum to clear this. Okay, so let's read on. So this is Freeman Junction. Okay, so it says turn toward the northeast and behold, the arid desolation gives way to a small town built around a large airfield. In World War II, Inniokern Airport was a bustling warfare center for the U.S. Navy. Now its lengthy runways welcome you. Touchdown and complete the first leg of your journey. And then they give you a picture of the airport. So I'm wondering, relative straight shot continuing southeast until Highway 178 meets State Route 14 at the long since dead ghost town of Freeman Junction. So is it going to be Freeman Junction is where I'm going to make my left and head north? But anyway, that is all the directions we get. Let's go ahead and close that. And close that. Get this up to map here. We can actually, I'm going to bring our trim down and start losing altitude. Bring the throttle down some. So this should still be 178 below us. Just getting that throttle drop down a little bit. I mean, this is just crazy to me, like in real life, you know. What is here? Why would anybody be up here? I mean, I'm sure there's reasons, I just don't know about them. Why would we have an Air Force base out here? Is it like during World War II? Was it an attempt to hide it? Trying to lose vertical speed, lose altitude. So I'm wondering if something down here isn't in fact State Route 14, and there's going to be an intersection here. So as we come around here, we should be able to see the airport. Okay, I see it now. I believe this is it right here. So this is what I'm wondering. Is this the intersection of 178 and 14? I don't know, maybe if I got down low enough to be a road sign down there. That's really the only intersection. And then 178 just ends. Oh, how are we doing altitude? We're still going to be too high, I believe. Let me do this. Knock the propeller, the engine's powered down some more. We're losing altitude at a fairly decent rate. At this point I don't think we're too close to the runway too. Of course, then now I'll get up there and I'll say, oh, I'm too low now. It's not looking too bad. Give you a warning. This plane, I do not care for it. I don't mind flying it. It's trying to stop it. The very first time, well, the first time I flew this, leg one, I got lost. Never found the airport. Never even come close, so I just restarted it. Second time, I got lost. Then I went to, and I used back on track. It shows you where your plane is, and it'll give you a line to the direction you should be going to get back to the airport where you should be. So I found the airport. I landed. I taxied. I'll go ahead and give it some flaps to try and slow me down some. So I landed, I got kind of towards the end of the runway, and I actually taxied off the runway. I wasn't going very fast. And then I just hit the brakes. And it flipped over on its nose. What is this thing here? You don't need much room to stop. So we're going to continue here, and hopefully we can get. Let's go ahead, go full flaps, slow this thing down. All right, like I said, it was definitely too high. Bounced it. So we're going to try and stop this thing without using our brakes. So the engine is, well, it's as low as I can get it. I was wondering if I tap the Y button for the brakes. Well, how fast am I going? I'm going 15. I'm really afraid that this thing's going to just tip over on its nose. What if I pull back on the stick? So what I need to do is take this, not in these push pilot. See, I'm pulling back on the stick. I am tapping the Y, but I'm not getting any. Because if it tips on his nose, it's going to count as a crash. And then I'll have to fly this over again. Now, come on, come on, come on, come on. Almost there. We're stopped. And there we go. Leg completed. Congratulations. 45-minute trip. And we did it. So, yeah, this is my first one. I don't know where else or what else to say, where else to go. My plan is to do all 25. And I think there's actually 4 different trips. So, should be fun. Be sure you have followed me on whatever you're watching this, and you'll get notification when I do and upload number 2. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.